I never imagined I'd be the guy posting a wild breakup tale on Reddit, but here I am. I'm a 32-year-old man, and I run a small but thriving company I built from scratch. It's not a mega corporation, but it's my pride and joy. I launched it in my mid-20s, grinding through endless late nights, skipping trips, and surviving on cheap noodles and pure determination until it finally paid off. Now I've got a comfortable life, a decent house, a reliable car, and the peace of mind that comes with financial stability. Enter my ex-fiancée, Jessica, 30. We met 4 years ago, and for most of that time, things seemed solid. She was charming, lively, and appeared to back my dreams. She'd talk about how much she respected my hustle, and I genuinely thought she loved me for me, not my business. But wow, was I blindsided. Everything was smooth until we started wedding planning. That's when Jessica began dropping comments about securing our financial future. Initially, I assumed she meant a standard prenup, which I was totally fine with. I'm a businessman. I get that things can get complicated, and I'm all for clear agreements. But that wasn't her plan. Instead, she hit me with, "I think it's only fair if we split your company 50-50 once we're married." I thought she was kidding at first. She wasn't. Looking back, I should have spotted the warning signs earlier. There were subtle hints I didn't fully process until things unraveled. Jessica was always a bit odd about money. Early on, she insisted on splitting bills, which I admired. It made me think she wasn't after my wallet. But that changed over time. She'd forget her card when we went out. I didn't mind at first. It was just a meal, no biggie. But it became a habit. She'd mention a sudden expense right before rent was due or stress about money just as we planned a getaway. It wasn't obvious, but I started feeling like her financial backup plan. The biggest red flag: her fixation on wealth. She was obsessed with how others lived. If someone had money, she needed to know how they earned it, what they spent it on. She'd scoff at trust fund kids, but then say things like, "It must be nice to never stress about bills." She had a love-hate thing with rich people, unless they were spending on her. I shrugged it off, chalking it up to her struggles with debt. But now I see those were cracks in the facade. Then came the prenup talk. I thought it was a normal discussion at first. I even agreed, yeah, let's protect ourselves. But then she laid out her idea of fairness. She wanted half my company, half, of something she had no part in building. I shut it down fast and she flipped. She called me greedy, said I was already planning for a divorce and that I didn't trust her. "If you don't trust me, why are we even getting married?" she said, pulling out the classic line. "I thought we were a team." Things escalated from there. She started rallying her allies. At first, it was subtle. She'd slip it into group chats or make jokes at dinners about how I was so attached to my business I wouldn't share it with my future wife. Then her friends got involved. Her best friend, Sarah, texted me, saying Jessica was heartbroken and I should compromise. I barely tolerated Sarah, but suddenly she had opinions about my livelihood. Then her mom cornered me at a family event, saying, "Marriage is about trust, dear. Why are you making this so hard? If you love Jessica, you'd want her to feel safe." Suddenly, everyone had a say in what I should do with my life's work. Even one of my buddies, usually a solid guy, started saying, "Look, man, it's not like she wants it now. It's just for security. Don't you want to be the guy who takes care of his wife?" The guilt was the worst part. Jessica wasn't just trying to persuade me, she was making me feel like a villain for saying no. I started doubting myself. Was I being selfish? Was I overreacting? Maybe she just wanted stability, and I was too cynical to see it. But then something snapped me back to reality. One night, Jessica was on the phone in another room, talking loudly. I wasn't trying to listen, but I caught her saying, "Once we're married, it's not really his anymore, so it doesn't matter." My blood ran cold. She wasn't after security or fairness. She was after control. She didn't want to be my partner. She wanted to own me. That's when I decided to outsmart her. I didn't confront her right away. She'd already painted me as the bad guy to so many people, so if I just exploded, she'd twist it to make me look unhinged. I needed evidence, so I started collecting proof. I went through our texts and saw a pattern. Every time she mentioned my business, it was about claiming a stake, never about supporting it. Then I reached out to a trusted mutual friend and asked if Jessica had ever said anything about money. Big mistake on her part. She'd been bragging to friends about securing her future. One direct quote: "Love's nice, but financial freedom is the goal." The real bombshell: she'd been talking to a divorce lawyer behind my back. A friend overheard her on a call, asking, hypothetically, what would happen to premarital assets in a divorce soon after marriage. Let that sink in. She wanted half my business in a prenup, planned to marry me, and likely divorce me for a payout. I was furious. But instead of confronting her privately, I let her expose herself. I told her I wanted to revisit the prenup talk, saying I'd reflected and wanted to be reasonable. Maybe she was right and I was too attached to my business. She bought it, instantly switching back to her sweet, supportive act. It was gross. I told her I'd consulted a lawyer for us to create a fair agreement that protected us both. Then I laid out my terms. She gets zero claim to my business, ever. Joint assets split 50-50. If we divorce, she gets fixed alimony, nothing more, nothing less. Debts stay separate. What's mine stays mine, what's hers stays hers. Her face dropped. The fake charm vanished. She snapped, "So you're already planning for a divorce?" I played innocent. "I thought you wanted fairness." Then she let it slip. "I deserve this. I've been with you for years. Why should I walk away with nothing if we split?" There it was, her true intentions. She wasn't in it for love, she was in it for a payout. That's when I went for the knockout. I pulled out my phone and played a recording of our conversation. Yep, I'd recorded it. She just admitted she felt entitled to my business, that she deserved a reward for being with me, and that she expected a payout if things didn't work out. She went pale, then lost it, screaming, crying, accusing me of setting her up, claiming I twisted her words, even though she'd just exposed herself. I looked her in the eyes and said, "We're done, get out." She went from rage to desperation in seconds. First, she yelled about how I was ruining everything. Then, when she saw I wasn't budging, it was tears and apologies. She claimed she didn't mean it, blamed wedding stress, even said, "You're my soulmate, don't do this." I didn't flinch. 4 years, and I didn't know who she was anymore. This wasn't the woman I planned to marry. She saw me as a cash machine, not a partner. So I repeated, "It's over, pack your stuff." She had a full meltdown, but I wasn't cruel. I gave her a few days to figure out her next move. I'm not heartless. But I wasn't letting her manipulate me into staying either. Once the wedding was canceled, the fallout was wild. Her family was livid. Her mom called, screaming that I destroyed her daughter's life, calling me cold and cruel. I calmly said, "Your daughter tried to take half my life's work. That's not love." Then I hung up, never heard from her again. Her friends were divided. Some were shocked when they learned what Jessica did, and a few even apologized, saying they didn't know she could stoop so low. Others doubled down, saying I was overreacting and that all women want security. Yeah, no thanks. My friends, they had my back. The ones who doubted me flipped once they heard the recordings. One buddy said, "Man, you dodged a nuke." Jessica tried crawling back weeks later with a "Can we talk? I miss you" text. Ignored, blocked, done. She tried spinning the narrative, telling people I betrayed her, set her up, and never loved her. But I had the receipts, recordings, texts, witnesses. Every time she tried to smear me, someone would ask, "Didn't you demand half his company before the wedding?" Her credibility. Toast, honestly, I feel amazing now. The breakup stung. 4 years is a long time to lose, but I wasn't grieving Jessica, I was grieving who I thought she was. The real Jessica? She wasn't my partner, she was a gold digger. Now I'm back to focusing on my business, my life, my future. And one thing's certain, if I date again, there's going to be a prenup. So that's the tale of how I almost married someone who saw me as her meal ticket, and how I came out on top.